So we had a nice breakout for XRP yesterday. We have reached some resistance and we do have some macro news to go through. So give me just a couple of minutes of your time and I'll get you fully up to date with what I'm thinking about this market. This video is based solely on my opinion and what I'm personally doing in this market. I want to also let you know that some of the links below are affiliate links, meaning I may earn a commission, but this will be at no extra cost to you. And please remember guys, under no circumstances will I ever contact you and ask you for investments. You can confirm all of my real social media handles in the description. This content is for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy sitting in his room. If we jump over to the XRP chart, we can see we've broken out recently from this wedge pattern. We have this nice support zone that we've marked here on the chart. And you can see my green arrow here where I added to my position. Now I added to this position on a red candle just before this break to the upside. And how I managed to catch this was simple. I noticed that this pattern was very similar to the previous pattern that had formed. And when we did hit the end of that wedge pattern, it was just before we broke to the upside. So in case that happened again, I opened or I added to my trade once again here. If you want to be alerted when I make these trades, come and join the Crypto Strategy School. The link to that is the Patreon down there in the description. But we now have 3,500 XRP in the profit. I used just 845 XRP now as margin to generate that amount of XRP. And I could generate a lot more XRP if we do break to the upside. And I would expect that us heading up to the previous all-time high will happen again soon. So about a 23% move on the spot price with 20x leverage would be a 400% move for my margin. Now, that may or may not happen, but that's kind of how I'm playing it. But I will be taking profits probably on the way as we hit the resistance of 213, as we hit the resistance of 239, and then as we hit the old all-time high of 367. The reason why I'll take profits from my leverage trade on the way up is because I also hold my spot bag, which I plan to start taking profits from when we get a real extended move for XRP. We're talking about above the old all-time highs. And again, I don't plan to sell at the very top because I don't think anyone knows where the top is. Just like I don't plan to buy the very bottom because no one knows where the exact bottom is. But I like to try and average in at the bottom or near the bottom and average out nearish to the top. My expectations for this rally could be as high as $10, but I think our time is starting to run out here for crypto, as normally the last quarter of the year is when the big moves happen in the post-halving years. And that's what we're in right now. So we don't have that long left. And I think a lot of people are going to be caught holding the bag because they're not going to take any profits. So that's why I like to make this channel to be a little bit of a differentiator in the market. Because everyone's a moon boy here on YouTube. So with that said, if you guys do want to trade yourselves, I have my links for the exchanges I use down there in the description. Right now over on WEEX, you can get a 20% deposit reward just by following the affiliate link and depositing on the exchange, and of course starting to trade there. Now, right now there's over 1,000 cryptocurrencies to choose from. They got 1,000 Bitcoin protection fund and they got 6 million global users. So if you want to join an exchange that over 6 million people are using right now, you can do so with just your email address and the affiliate link in the description. With that said, we do have the Frankfurt Stock Exchange saying that XRP will experience a price increase due to the launch of their spot XRP ETF. I think that this is going to be a big news event for XRP. I don't really think that it's going to create enough liquidity to really massively push the market up, just like we saw with XRP. But just like we saw with Ethereum. But remember, we have had close to a 2x with Ethereum. So I know people in the XRP community are expecting a 10x, 100x if this happens, but a 2x is reasonable because that's what we saw happen with Ethereum, all right? And XRP's market cap is not far off that of Ethereum's. Now, with that said, we also do have the NASDAQ filing for the SEC to tokenize every stock by 2026, apparently. And people are assuming that these tokenized assets will eventually route through XRP. Now, that's not a guarantee. I actually think it's more likely it happens through Ethereum. But that doesn't mean that XRP won't benefit from this sort of thing. And we're already seeing XRP be utilized in different countries. So I think this is very bullish. Even if it wasn't on the XRP ledger and it was on something else like Ethereum, I still think it'd be very bullish for the likes of XRP, which of course has the clarity from the SEC case, which of course has the nod from the presidency. That sort of stuff is what we're looking for. Now, we do have some macro things happening. Israel strikes on Doha. escalations, which we don't want to see, right? We got Poland as well. Russia drones cross into eastern Poland. And all the while, when this news comes out, Binance is apparently dumping millions of ETH and Bitcoin to liquidate the longs, which we're seeing right here. Bitcoin and ETH being liquidated. This is because people get too long after a price increase. So we just had a price increase, and guess what? Everyone starts to go long, right? So Bitcoin goes up here and everyone goes long up here. They get liquidated. We go down, we retest previous support, and then we head higher. That continually happens because people trade with emotion. They go long when the market's euphoric. They go short when the market's scared. So now loads of people are going to be going short, which we see over in the liquidations right here. Solana's actually the outlier because Solana's still pumped, hence why I took profits this morning. But Bitcoin, everyone's going short. Ethereum has now flipped, and everyone is, or majority of people more so, are short than long. Before, we had way more people long than short. This is good in my eyes for the next leg to the upside. If Ethereum can finally break out, which it hasn't yet, I think that's going to be very good for the altcoins, of which XRP is going to be one of them. Hence why I still have my trades open as we speak. So if you want to stay up to date every day, hit that subscribe button. And remember, guys, if you do want to trade, you can get this awesome, this is the best deposit reward I've seen on the market right now, 20% over on WEEX. And of course, I like to trade on a number of different exchanges. So what this does is it just spreads out my risk, and it means I have access to basically any crypto I could want on one of these exchanges. So if you want to sign up, the affiliate link is down there in the description, and you can use just your email address to get access to over 1,000 cryptocurrencies. Please, of course, do your own research, read the terms and conditions, and guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Peace.